Hello and welcome to another episode of Monday Night Insights. I am your host. My name is Pia Maffei, and I'm here joined by my friend, Beth. And we have some interesting things that we want to talk to you about today. So first we want to explain the topic. The topic is taking the wins and then acknowledging the missteps. So we're going to go through that. There's a couple things I want to announce today. Number one is follow us on our blog site. It's called IamACleanEater.com. So please go there. We just wrote another blog. The most recent one is, I think you read this one when I admitted that I was a drug pusher. Mm-hmm. So please go on.
Good.
Please go on and read that blog. Also, and I'll put the link on after on here. And also, we want to update you on our progress for our course, which we're probably going to come out somewhere in January, but I want you to keep an eye open for it. It is called Get Food Smart, Join My Tribe. And a lot of these concepts that we talk about on the videos and things that I talk to you about in the store are all in the course at a high level intellectual component, but also in a practical component of being able to do exercises and understand and really truly have lasting longevity as your goal. Okay, so we were offline for 2 weeks, and one of the reasons was I was traveling and I went to New Jersey to celebrate my mother-in-law's 90th birthday. She is 90, going on 60, feels fantastic. A couple years ago, she had visited us and saw that we all ate organic and clean and understood where the food is coming from. She goes, "Oh, I think I'll start to do that." And she was like 88 at the time. And so she's still following that as best as she can, and she's on her journey, right? So everybody has a journey when they decide to do clean eating, and that journey has we always say it, ups and downs, twists and turns. And so, but the point of the journey is you're still making progress and going up. Now, if you're on the journey and you're just doing this, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, we're not going anywhere, okay? So we need to understand, what does that mean? How do we really have this lasting longevity? So when you sign up for the course, that's going to take you through, because there's 7 modules that take you through and really give you excellent practical examples on how to do this. But we have a real live one that we want to go through, because part of the past few months I've had Beth here by my side for a couple reasons, and one is she's on her journey for clean eating and I'm her mentor. And so I think when we're on different levels of our journey, and I'm speaking for myself right now, so some people see me on my journey as, well, you're advanced. How am I ever going to get to that point? My gosh, I'll never look like you or sound like you or eat like you, or whatever excuse we're trying to make at that point to reject that change or lifestyle, right? So by having Beth here, this really helps to show a practice, and Dina, when she's here too, she'll be back with us next week, but she's on a different level of her journey. So when we have the different people on the different levels of the journey, it's a way for us to communicate. This is a process. You're not going to get everything right, okay? You're not going to get everything right. Okay, here's for me, okay?
Okay.
I was in New Jersey, like I said, and we were taking my mother-in-law out for dinner, and we were responsible for picking the restaurant. My husband and I, okay? So we're like, okay, good. This is good. We have the control over this, okay? Because we controlled everything else, right?
Yeah.
And so pick this restaurant in one of the real nice place. Maybe you know this chef. His name's Chef Garces. He's an Iron Chef. So if you watch the Food Network, then you'll be familiar with that chef. So the restaurant had a very nice menu. Like you could pick a steak or a chicken. And then some of the things, when I read the menu, you know, it said organic chicken.
Oh.
And then it said wild halibut from the Atlantic. And I'm like,
Okay.
oh my God, sold right
well,
there. You're
great.
speaking my
Okay.
language,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was saying everything that I wanted to hear.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, okay, that's good, because if anybody knows me, you know, I travel with my oil, with my fats, and I travel with a lot of my food. So I thought, you know, this is easy. I can control this.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody else, I know, will be able to pick something that they like, because it was kid-friendly, it was adult-friendly, which a lot of times adults eat like kids anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a lot of, you know, that's why mac and cheese is on every single menu, right? It's
yeah.
like they didn't grow out of it. So it's
true.
It is true. So anyway, so there was going to be some of this stuff available. So we get there, and I thought, okay, I'm a little OCD, so I just couldn't order off the menu. I had to ask more questions when I got there, right? So I thought, okay, and at the last minute, I switched my purse, and I didn't have my fats. Rookie mistake.
Whenever
Okay.
you switch your purse, you always leave at least 3 things you need behind.
Yes.
It's just...
It was so stupid, such
Yeah.
a rookie mistake.
Mhm.
So I get to the restaurant in Atlantic City. We weren't staying in Atlantic City. We were an hour away, so it's not like I could say, oh, let me go back to my hotel. Okay, so I had asked them, I go, just asking, you know, what's the oil you have that you're using? Okay, remember, this is an Iron Chef, so we expect a little bit more, especially when the menu was so well written.
Yeah.
Do you want to guess? Do you want to guess the oil that they had?
Canola.
No, worse. Well, is there worse?
Is there worse? Soy?
Yes!
Oh, okay. All right. I was like, it's probably one of those. Oh, that's just fun.
So bad. Okay.
Oh.
So I'm like, oh, okay. And then I had this sinking feeling, because I realized, oh my God, I changed my purse. I don't have my fats with me. Okay. So anyway, I said, you have, in this huge place, you've got to have other oils. Like, you've got to have olive oil at least. So she confirmed. She went back. She was excellent. The rest, the wait staff was excellent. So they confirmed, made me feel very comfortable. But this is a restaurant at that level, right? And they had little buzzwords to you know, reel you in. And if I was just going to feel like, oh yeah, this is all clean, I'm not a problem, they would have drowned that beautiful fish in that disgusting industrial oil. And what was that going to do for me? Cause inflammation and a bunch of other things, right?
Yeah.
So it's not worth it. But that's where I'm at my journey, right? Where I'm at right now. So then there were vegetables, nothing was organic. So I said, okay, well, that's when I go back in that case and read off the clean 15 and dirty dozen. So at least I know in that case, I go, okay, I do want a vegetable. So the least harmful vegetables that I can get are broccoli, asparagus, cauliflower. So they had asparagus, they cooked it in the olive oil. So that's how I was able to make a not so great situation better,
salvageable.
Right? So I took the win.
Yeah.
That's so there was a misstep on my part. The misstep was a rookie mistake. I didn't bring my oils. I could have, you know, asked them beforehand, but then I would have just been in another situation going to a similar restaurant that would have had some other problem with it, right? So at least I was able to get the halibut, which was wild and from the Atlantic Ocean rather than the Pacific. That's better. It's not great, but it's better. So I made the best out of a not so great situation. Okay, so that's what our topic is today, is trying to understand, when do we take these wins, how do we acknowledge the missteps, and then we move on the journey. We're not there, oh my God, it wasn't organic, what am I going to do? No, okay,
like,
move on.
Like sitting there, like beating yourself up about it. It's
Exactly.
Just like,
yeah.
Okay,
It
my
happened.
whole meal was a disaster.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not a clean eater. Now I have to confess
Yeah.
it when I go back to the store and talk to Pia.
Right. It's not about perfection. perfection. Okay, that's the point of clean
Yeah.
eating. It's not about being perfect. It's about understanding and still making progress as you move forward. So we have an interesting story today with Beth's her wins and her missteps from when from our last time that we had our talk to now. So let's first talk about the wins because there are so many wins.
Yeah,
Okay.
there are far more wins,
Oh,
which
my gosh.
gives me a little bit of relief.
Yes. Okay. First of all, win number 1, which is huge, is so little inflammation now.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see it. I tell people when they come in the store, there's several different ways that you can recognize inflammation, or I can over
Okay.
over
Over
the
time.
5 years. Yeah, it's not something I don't think that's. And this isn't inflammation like systemic inflammation that's autoimmune related. This is more food related inflammation. When I say I recognize inflammation, there's a delineation that occurs, kind of from here down. And when there is very little delineation or no delineation, that's one way that I can tell that someone is inflamed.
Okay.
So that's one level. Also, your upper, not your lower, your upper, okay, is also, especially if it's to the touch, very, very firm. That's usually another indication of inflammation.
Okay.
And then usually below the arms or underneath here, that's another kind of look, that inflammation look. There's kind of a processed food look and an inflammation look. Okay, so your inflammation is way down, okay? Then there's obvious inflammation like, oh, you're red, or there's redness, or there's edema that's happened in your ankles, or your digits are, sausage-like. That's different. That's inflamed, but also, so you don't really have any of that, okay? And so that's a huge win, is through this, we're 4 months now on your
4
journey?
months. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 4 months on your journey. Committed on your journey, that you, that we can check that on the list of, wow, so good, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things that we always recommend on your journey is to throw away the scale. Just get rid of it, okay? It's not helping you in any way. So we don't care about weight loss. It's a short-term goal weight loss, okay? That's right here. We're looking over here. See, as I move my hand all the way out here, it's called lasting longevity. That's what we're looking for. Not this, okay, weight loss, because you could lose weight and then what happens 6 months later? Oh, all the weight is back, or whenever.
Yeah. And you can obsess over
every
like
yes.
ounce or pound or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You can really get obsessive about the scale.
Right.
And so, I mean, I haven't had one for years. I mean, when if I go to the doctor, which I don't much anymore,
right,
which is great.
Yes.
But I did. That was the only time I allowed myself to be weighed.
Okay, good. So win number 1 for Beth is inflammation way down. Number 2, you're sleeping better.
Yes.
Okay, so huge win. Number 3, your sinuses, where are they?
I don't know.
This was a huge problem.
That was
for
a
you.
huge problem
Yeah.
for me. I had chronic allergies where I was like Kleenex's best friend, basically. And it's totally different now.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a like 30 Kleenex a day person, maybe more.
Yeah.
Down to like maybe 2 or 3 now.
Right.
Which is a huge difference for me.
Huge. And even when I'm talking
really
to you
freeing.
and hearing you, from when we first started to now, it's night and day.
Yeah, because
It's
I
completely
always
night and
sounded
day.
congested.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I was always congested.
Yes. And then win number 4, which is another huge one, is your energy level. Right?
Yeah. My energy level has just been through the roof.
Yeah.
And, I'm able to, get done far more than I used to be able
And
to get
stay
done.
focused.
And stay focused.
Stay focused longer.
Mm-hmm.
You're not obsessing about the food and where your meal
Right.
is coming
So,
from.
like, when you're not obsessing about what your next meal is going to be, or, what you want it to be, or what you're going to reward yourself for doing, you're amazed at how much energy and mental clarity you have as for your different tasks, because your brain is not taken up so much by, food obsession.
Right. Excellent. Okay, so those are 4 huge wins. Anything else that I'm missing?
No, I think those are most,
I mean, the obvious ones, better hair, skin, nails, that's always the case. Like, okay, so that's like
that's
5
that's
big
like
wins, but that's
like
a
side
byproduct.
effect.
Yeah,
But
it's just a byproduct. Exactly right. Weight loss, that's just, that's all happening.
Yeah, but
that's
for me,
not
the
a
energy
focus.
level and, feeling more energized just in general to get things done, and then to also just, enjoy life more.
Yeah.
And not be as lethargic, is a huge difference for me.
Okay, so our topic today is to take the wins, which we're going to take these wins. There's 5 big ones for Beth. I'm taking my wins too. But then also acknowledge the misstep or missteps and how that impacts our clean eating journey, and then what we do and move on. So I acknowledged my missteps, which were rookie mistakes for me, but hey, I'm not going to, boo-hoo. It's like, okay, move on. It's a journey. So why don't we walk through what your misstep was, when it happened, and what was happening prior to the misstep, and then where you're at now. Take it from there.
Okay, so when you went on your trip to New Jersey, I was working in the store, and then also, trying to get some of our coursework done, and then working my other job as well. So it was really a lot.
Yeah.
And it was a
lot to manage. So you were feeling stressed.
I was feeling stressed.
Okay.
It was a lot to manage. And so when I went to the store on Tuesday night, when you had just gotten back.
Yeah.
So Tuesday night, and I was like,
you went to a different store.
Yeah, I went to a different store, not here, but to Sprouts. And, I got organic salsa and I got a bag of chips. But instead of going to my normal brand of grain-free chips that I know are cool and they're clean, and then, I didn't have my normal stuff from the store. Stuff here from the store. So I thought, okay, well, I'll just grab a bag of corn chips. I've had this brand before. It's not as bad as it could be. There's a small amount of ingredients, and then I just started like this justification roller coaster. And I'm just starting to go, and and then I said,
was this before the purchase? When you realized you were doing it, but was it before the purchase or after?
I think it was mostly when I was standing in line waiting to buy it. I was like justifying it, like, well, I could go back and, and then I was also thinking of, okay, well, this is $2, that's $5, and I mean, I've been on my journey, in my opinion, too long to be, worried about the expense versus the cost to my body that I'm gonna get. So yes, and then intellectually I know all of this, but yet I still start that justification roller coaster. And I go, shh. And so I bought the chips, and then I go home, and so that's, the only non-clean part of my meal. I have my chips and salsa as my appetizer, and then I have my clean dinner, which is my, harvest to you vegetables in a stir fry, and then I have my Primal Pastures ground beef that I had sauteed that I put on top, which was totally fine.
Yeah. It's delicious and fantastic.
And and then come 3:00 in the morning, I wake up and then proceed to what I term chuck.
So you start vomiting.
Yes. I proceeded to chuck once an hour for 7 hours.
Wow.
So major food poisoning. And the only thing I could think of that changed, the only thing that was different in my diet was the salsa and the chips.
Yeah. And,
and then going through that after, looking at the ingredient list and, being honest about it.
Right.
There's only 4 ingredients, which some diets would go, hurrah!
Yeah.
And, and it's like, okay, so there's some, it wasn't the worst bag of chips I could have purchased by far. I could have gone back to my Cheetos.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I could have gone back to my Cheetos. Cheetos would have been worse.
Yes.
So,
that's
but but I did. It was still bad, because it was corn, soy sauce, soybean oil, and lime.
Oh, lime. Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. So all GMO.
So yeah,
And
all
then-
GMO.
yeah.
So like nothing in
all
it was
industrial.
organic. It was all industrial,
Right.
and GMO industrial.
Right.
Which as a clean eater, I absolutely should know better.
Right.
But I did it anyway.
But you did it anyway.
I did it anyway.
Right,
And
right.
the interesting thing is the only part of the meal that came up was the chips and the salsa.
That is shocking
Nothing
to me.
else.
That is so amazing to me.
Even though it
because-
was eaten within a few
Yes.
hours, but there was nothing
Wow.
else. It was the salsa first, and then the chips, and then
How weird.
everything,
Wow.
because I the other stuff was processed because I was able to get rid of that.
Yeah.
That happened in normal waste excretion.
Right. So your body just it sounds like your body just rejected these items because you had been doing so well. You stayed on your and again, this is a misstep. So some people
Mhm.
might see this and we talk about it and oh, well, screw it. I had the chips, so, let's
Mhm.
bring on, and then all the other stuff,
let's bring
right?
let's bring the Cheetos
where's-
back.
Yeah,
and,
like, where's the
everything.
Kit Kat?
Uh-huh.
And all the stuff that, would go along with it.
Mhm.
But so this didn't act as a slide food necessarily for you.
No.
It was a misstep that you were there and you're like, well, I have some experience with that brand.
Mhm.
I understand. Okay. So even though it was several dollars less,
Yeah.
ultimately it was, if she paid $2 for that, it was $1.50 too much for that product.
Yeah.
And then with all the issues that it caused, so then now she's missing work.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
And I missed 4 days of work.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
And so that's
has a
big.
huge financial impact on
Right.
me. That's hurting my friends.
Uh-huh.
Because both of my bosses are my friends.
Right.
So that's another thing. Although at least they knew I was being honest.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, oh, okay, I can't come into work today.
Yeah.
And then I'm posting pictures of my Disneyland visit on
Right.
Instagram or whatever later, which
Right.
by the way will get you fired. Don't do it. I know
Don't do
several
it.
other employees at other companies who have done that and they get
Oh
fired.
my gosh.
It's silly.
Yes.
But yeah, I think of the whole experience as, as my aunt would put it, I hit myself with a stupid stick.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So now, how are you moving forward from the misstep?
Well, I came back to life mostly through, the stuff from the store.
Yes.
The bone broth.
Yep.
So I got my mom came in and got a 6-pack of the bone broth for
Yeah.
me, and several other
tart cherry
supplements
was
to bring
huge
it
to
back.
help you
So
sleep.
my
Yeah.
tincture, I called it my wellness tincture.
Yeah.
Was the super ginger, the camu berry, which is the vitamin C,
Yeah.
and then the super ginger.
Yeah. And the electrolytes.
Oh yeah, and the tart cherry and the electrolytes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So that after how many hours would you say taking that did you start to feel like you were coming up on, you were getting on the other side of this?
Well, after I had, so the bone broth tasted amazing instantly
Yeah.
for me.
Okay.
And so
Okay,
I had half of it. It was a beef one. So it's a certain size cup, and so I had half of it.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay, that's enough for now. And then I had the tincture.
Okay.
And so about 3 hours after that, I started to, feel alive again.
Yeah, probably
you
more
know,
the tonic. You
yeah.
had the tonic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, good. And so now you say it's almost a week from when this debacle happened.
Yeah.
And are you back to 100% now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
great.
I'm back to 100% now.
And so that you just have to make sure this doesn't
but
get
yeah,
into
it
your
was like-
psyche where it's like, oh, gosh, I really, disappointed myself or this or that.
I
You
disappointed my mentor, and now I have to fall on my feet and, and kowtow and, flagellate myself or whatever. Prostrate myself before Pia and just go, oh, I'm so sorry. I can never recover. I'm unworthy. But yeah, I mean, I can't spend too much time
Right.
focusing on the negative.
So important.
And
Yes.
then, I didn't have to go to the doctor and get an antibiotic, which is all that they would have given me,
Yes.
or they would have said, oh, okay, go have some chicken soup and get better.
Right.
You know, but I didn't have to spend $100 to figure that out.
Right.
Because I had a plan to get back to where,
Yes.
you know, to get back to my new normal.
Awesome.
So, and that worked. But yeah, I was literally the Walking Dead for a couple of days.
Amazing.
And then, you know, just feeling very weak, you know, and yeah, just, it was very low.
Yeah, and since then you've had your vegetables from Harvest to You.
Mhm.
You've had your meat from Primal Pastures because you
Yeah.
had a vegetable soup the other day,
Mhm.
and everything's
Yep.
been fine.
Exactly.
So it's not like, oh, well, it could have been that. And it's like, well, no, it seems pretty definitive.
Yeah, no,
that
it was
this
pretty
was a
definitive
pretty,
that
you know,
the only two new things that I introduced into my diet at that point were these two things, the
Yeah.
the salsa and
and your
the,
body
and the
said
chips.
no.
And
no,
my body
it's
said,
not real food.
yeah, my body definitely gave me a real heck no.
Yeah.
This is not okay.
Right.
We're rejecting this.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So basically, that's our topic today. You have to take your wins, celebrate your wins in a responsible way, obviously, and then also acknowledge your missteps. So don't just excuse them away or, you know, just say, yeah, I did it. Okay, that happened. And then boom, move on. And that's the journey that is clean eating. So you want to learn more, I advise that you go onto our website. It is called IamACleanEater.com. I also advise that you can sign up for our, I like that whistle.
Yeah. Sorry,
It's
that's
okay.
my phone. I thought I had turned off the ringer.
No worries.
Oops.
And so that's, I want to leave you with that. Please visit us online at IamACleanEater.com, and we will see you again next week. Thanks again, folks. We'll see you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Sorry about that. I thought I had turned the ringer off.